with a little health and a little wealth and a lot of love.
So tell us about health impacts of environment toxins under the microscope.
So we are going to talk a little bit more about the history about environmental exposures or endocrine disrupting chemicals that can result in some serious health problems. And in this case, kind of one of the most well-known chemicals that we kind of started us on this on the research of endocrine disruptors would be DES, which was a diethylstilbestrol, was a medication that actually came out many years ago and was thought to help women who were pregnant to carry their pregnancy to term. So it helped to prevent miscarriages.
What was this again?
DES.
DES. And what is DES? Is that like a toxin or is that like a...
It was a medication that impacted, female hormones that was thought to at the time to help carry a pregnancy to term. So for women who maybe previously had miscarriages or had problems in their prior pregnancies were given this medication, but they found out the longer this medication was on the market that it was resulting in some very serious birth defects. So for women who were carrying males for male babies, this was a common, potential side effect of that exposure. And if they had female babies, if they were carrying females, they would often have increased risk or increased incidence of certain vaginal cancers. And so it was something that was on the market for 20 plus years.
Jeez.
And it took a long time before they realized that it was actually causing a lot of, potential fertility and reproductive issues in their, not only the women that were taking the medication, but the children that they were carrying.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing because there's a lot of controversy. I'm going to say it. Like, I remember the whole COVID vaccine. I would say that we still wouldn't know for a long time, like what if there is any side effects of the COVID vaccine. Like I don't know. Like I'm a health novice, but it does speak to, like, for example, antibiotics. The reason why my dad had 3 children with my mother, biological mother, 4 children total, is because they didn't know antibiotics was not a contraceptive, but it did not work with birth control. So they didn't discover that for a while, not like, at least with my parents. So there are some side effects to medicines that you just don't know. So like, could there be side effects with the COVID vaccine or any vaccine for that matter?
And I think it's, we worry more about man-made chemicals too that we don't even think about being something that we use for treatment of health conditions, because we do highly regulate prescription medications now, but it's more the other things that we're exposed to, whether that's chemicals that are in our beauty products or in household cleaners or things that we use around the house every day that is not as highly regulated as the medications that we consume.
With a little health and a little wealth and a lot of love. That's the life that we live. Suits and scrubs.